may not realize it or imagine that it's the case, but more than a tenth of our permanent faculty are here today on a school day because we are very concerned about the state of our institution. I'm breathless, I'm not sure why, for walking up here, but there are two things. As you likely know, we're very concerned about our status with Middle States and our accreditation. It's critically and hugely important. We are working as much as we can. Again, we are asking to be included even more at the table in terms of decision making, but we will need your support. I know that you've all done a lot and made a lot of decisions that have been beneficial to us, but we just ask for your continued commitment to doing extraordinary things to make sure that this extraordinary university is here for another 180 years. For people who don't know, Cheyney is the oldest institution in the state system. It is turning 180 years old this year, and there are all kinds of phenomenal reasons, small and large, for why we should continue to do the work that we're doing, including those that have been mentioned recently in the New York Times. On a small scale, if I didn't mention, my name is Ivan Turnipseed. I'm associate professor and chair of hospitality and recreation management at Cheyney University. My area is hospitality, hotel, restaurant, and tourism management. Cheyney is the 6th educational institution I've worked at over my roughly 20 years in academia. It's my first HBCU. I've worked at Bloomsburg as well, but Cheyney looks very different than any place I've ever been. In many cases, that's a bad thing. In other ways, it's a good thing. We achieve extraordinary things. I have a tiny program, running average 5 years, probably 35 to 40, although we've experienced very rapid growth recently. We graduated 8 students last year. Not necessarily that big of a deal, except that every one of those students is gainfully employed in the hospitality industry. 5 out of those 8 are salaried at $40,000 or above, and 3 of them have already been promoted and received raises of at least $5,000 since they graduated. Right? I'm wearing not a necklace, but a lei made of kukui nuts because I sent a student to Hawaii to be front office manager at the Hilton Waikoloa Village in Hawaii, and he was just promoted, transferred to San Francisco, Diego, and wanted to send me, a nice gift. So we do great things. There are 2 things that I wanted to talk about that the faculty have been talking about. Apparently what Middle States is concerned about, above and beyond most things, number 1, is the fact that we have some administrative uncertainty or issues. Again, we do need permanent leadership. They apparently look at interims and vacant positions as vacancies. So if we have positions and we need people in those positions, whatever it takes to expeditiously fill those positions, put good people in them with new ideas that can work with us, with the ideas that we have to move the institution forward, we need to do that. I mean, we've had interim and acting and on in positions like our president, like our provost, like our enrollment management director, like advancement. We have no one in advancement. Imagine that, at a place that's in desperate need of resources, there's no one who's in that office, and on and on and on. So we asked for people to take a very serious look at that and figure out how we can do something urgently. Talk with the folks on the ground. I believe our Middle States monitoring report is due in March. So what can we do before that time to demonstrate to Middle States that this system is committed to this institution that is achieving great things and could do still more if we think strategically about how to support it appropriately. The other major issue, apparently beyond some administrative concerns, of course, is resources. Yes, Cheyney has needed money, has received money, and that money has been critical to our very existence. We're very appreciative of that. We will need more. That's just a reality, and I hope that the people who are in those conversations will work together to help make sure that that happens in appropriate ways. But help us at the local level. I was able to have a conversation with Jim Dillon. I mentioned this to him, but I'm now on the scholarship committee thanks to the president. And what I found out just yesterday, many people may realize this, is this small institution where small sums of money can mean a great deal. We apparently have up to $2 million or so and scholarship dollars that are all but frozen. We've had discussions about the fact that we may even be purging 120 students from our system who are academically eligible to continue for small balances, $250, $500, $1,000, $2,000, whatever the case is. I have a program that could grow by 50% as of this summer if money that has been set aside, not a lot, $30,000 has been set aside in a trust that we've been told about, but for 2 years that money has been tied up because of reconciliation issues, restricted versus unrestricted spending issues. But the point that has been made to us is, if the scholarship committee can appreciate or can be told in writing that the $2 million or so, whatever that real number is available to be spent, we have several programs that will grow by leaps and bounds this year. Like immediately, we can, there are people that are ready to take additional classes this summer. At times we don't normally take classes. That'll be more money coming to our bottom line. That'll mean more graduates walking out of the doors of our institution. So again, two major issues. We need permanent leadership because we want to be a permanent institution. We are a permanent institution. And we need the resources to survive. And again, please help continue to support us when and where you can, but at least make sure that the monies that are allegedly there can actually be used. The last point, which is a side point and not something that the faculty have spoken about on a large scale basis, but it gets me maybe because transportation is the part of hospitality. I have never, in all of the days of my life, and I've been at many institutions, been at a school that didn't have a campus shuttle. Better yet, suppose your school is in a deeply beautiful but suburban area where within 3 miles there's not a single convenience store. You can get a biscuit after 9 o'clock at night. I mean, seriously. So again, from a recruitment, an attraction, and a retention perspective, in addition to all that we are providing on campus, we can't assume that our students have vehicles. Well, we can assume that they actually don't. The vast majority don't because they come from the lower end. It's impossible. For the good side of $50,000 a year, you can provide shuttle service that's insured by an outside agency, the whole nine, or whatever. It's been mentioned for years and years and years that the provost, different presidents, I don't know who can figure out what to do, but again, it would instantly and immediately transform campus life if those students were no longer locked into the institution. Our sister institution, Westchester, is just down the street. You could throw a rock off their campus and hit 30 wonderful restaurants of all kinds, right? If our students wanted to go 7 miles down the road to Westchester, it takes them about 2 hours because they have to get on the public bus, go to Philadelphia, and come all the way back out. This is reality, right? We have internships. We have people on our advisory board that offer internships left and right. We get students who get jobs at the local hotel 3 or 4 miles away. They depend on someone to let them use their car or to drop them off and eventually lose their job because it's not consistent. Why not have a shuttle within a 5-mile or 7-mile radius? So whether people need to go to Walmart, go to their internship on a regular basis, again, it sounds like a tiny thing, but just imagine that these students are completely landlocked. So keep those things in mind. Know that we care deeply about our institution. We are chomping at the bit to support and work together with all of you to do better and better things. I know that it gets tough, it has to, and to get challenging to say, here comes Cheyney again. But please know that we are doing some extraordinary things. We have people who are of national and international renown in their fields and different areas that we don't talk enough about. Thanks for the time and enjoy the rest of your meeting.
About 14 years ago from North Carolina A&T. Prior to that, I was at Bennett College. And when I came to Cheyney, I walked through the science department at the time, and I said, oh my God, why did I quit at A&T? Because I literally just quit the position because it was a one-year temporary position after I left Bennett. But Cheyney at the time offered me a tenure-track position. And plus most of my family lives here. They're tired of me living in the South, So they wanted me to move closer. So I came to Cheyney. When I walked through the science department, that wasn't anything I was used to, anything I'd seen before. I'm a very good, highly trained chemist. I take pride in that. I take pride in being an excellent teacher everywhere I've been, because I will tell my colleagues and my students that I actually went to learn how to teach at NC State when I started teaching at Banner College. So all of the experiences are what I use today. And so for the time I've been at Cheyney, I think I've been able to, if I can put it together, close to 5 million or so that I've been able to bring to Cheyney through the National Science Foundation and Pennsylvania Department of Health grants and some of those other things, because I knew what I saw when I walked into Cheyney, that we needed money. And I wanted to be part of that change to make Cheyney work. So I decided to put in the work, and I can almost say that in the 13 years I've been there, I don't know how many of the professors have taught more classes than I have taught. I teach summer, I teach spring, I teach winter, year round and round and round. I'm always there. Sir? So, but what has been going on, and I mentioned to one of our colleagues over there that nothing to the fault of Dr. Pogue, because what Dr. Pogue inherited when he came in, prior to him, was a big mess. Cheyney is becoming a place where faculty can no longer say anything. There's nobody to talk to. Kathleen, I've emailed you a couple of times, and my emails will be there, and with names on it. I've talked to almost everybody at some level except the Chancellor. I remember something the Chancellor said when he came to open the Science Center for us. He said, "We've not opened this place for you to admire it, we've opened it for you based on what we think you're going to do in it." And that's what I tell the student every day. We have a tremendous amount of instrumentation at Cheyney. I will brag that Cheyney has more instrumentation than most of the state system schools in chemistry, maybe even in biology. I will talk to some companies, and they can not believe that we have a TOC, we have an ICP-MS, we have a GCMS. The list goes on and on. Yet some of these instruments are still sitting in the boxes. We do our best to train the students with what we have. But since that building has been up, things have not been made to function properly. So how can we train the students? Don't get me wrong, we're doing our best. Because I would argue that one of the reasons why I have been very successful with NSF is to show them that, look, I am producing students. As a matter of fact, we started keeping the stat at some point that Cheyney produces more PhDs per 100 bachelor's degrees granted in the sciences. And the numbers continue to get bigger. In the old state system, we lead among all other HBCUs, we're highly ranked. That's a very strong number, because that's what NSF is about. The number of your students going on to receive PhD degrees, especially minority students. This is something that the state system can be proud of. I did call the state system office one day to get that stat, something of sort, but they don't know. Cheyney is a very unique institution. I don't know some of what I hear. I know some of the students that we have taught. I can tell you 5 of my students that are in fabulous PhD programs, University of Louisville, the list goes on. That's the list I keep. Drexel, name it. If you want the list, I'll provide it. These are Cheyney trained students. We trained them because you gave us the opportunity, though. Because the passion gave us the opportunity to do so. Giving if we continue to have that opportunity, we can continue to do what we do. At the last meeting of this board, I heard something, maybe it was on Facebook, I listened to the soundbite that said, Cheyney is like a restaurant or some grocery store that doesn't work. I was on my bed when I heard it. That was disturbing, but you know what? We know what we're about. I know what we're capable of doing. So that's all, because I could go on and on, but I know you have better things to take care of. All right. Thank you.
My name is Norma George. I'm the chairperson of the Department of English, Languages and Communication Arts at Cheyney. I'm also the director of international programs, and I do a lot of things at Cheyney. I just wanted to introduce myself to you as one of the graduates of Cheyney, as one of the persons who Cheyney moved from the bottom tier to a terminal degree. So if you want to see the work that Cheyney does, if you'd like to see the impact it has on the Commonwealth, on the community, you can look at me, because I've taken what Cheyney has given to me and I'm able to now give back to the students of Cheyney University. Thank you.